Well, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to DCC Daily. This is our 15-minute Monday through Friday program of information and encouragement for the Dungeness Community Church family and anybody else that wants to listen. We start every day with a photo of the day, and our photo today comes from Al Chrisman. And this is a picture of a bighorn sheep that he took when he and Karen were on vacation, I guess last year. Remember back when we could go on vacation and travel places? Anyway, they were on vacation at Glacier National Park. So, pretty impressive animal there. Al, thanks for sharing. Let's talk about announcements. Sunday morning, Sunday worship online at 10 a.m. or on Wave Cable 21 at noon. And we'll be continuing that new series, The Gift of Barnabas, Encouragement as a Way of Life. So I would encourage you to tune in. And then the Moving Forward talk I did a couple weeks ago. If you haven't seen it yet, go to our YouTube channel. Encourage you to watch it, trying to lay out kind of a vision, a way of thinking about how we're going to move through this pandemic and begin to get back together again. And the survey that goes with it, if you haven't done it yet, you need to do it this week. Friday is going to be the deadline. And so please give the church office a call. If you haven't seen that survey yet, or if you've had trouble filling it out, contact the church office and we'll make sure that we get your input. And then our prayer time, tomorrow night, 6:45 to 7:15. Encourage you to join Burnett and myself in a conference call for prayer. And you can get the information about how to join by going to dcchurch.org, click on the switchboard banner, and you'll find the information there for that weekly prayer call. Okay, round to it. The projects that we all were putting off, and now at last we have more than enough time to get them done. And the round to it we want to look at today came to us from Ross and Kathy Hamilton, and they tell me that they have sorted through over 1,000 LP records. That's an impressive collection, you guys. And so they've sorted through all these records, and now they are trying to find a home for them. So you guys, congratulations on sorting through all that vinyl, and we wish you well in finding a home for all those records. We celebrate you getting around to it. How about a devotional thought for the day? Comes from Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3. It says, "You, God, keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you." How are you doing at keeping your mind stayed on the Lord? It reminds me of that story where, Jesus came walking on the water, and Peter wanted to get out of the boat and go meet Jesus. And that was a good thing. I mean, no one else had the courage to do that. And Peter did, and he got out of the boat, but then you know the story. Peter took his eyes off Jesus, started looking at all the waves around him, got scared, and started sinking. Good news is Jesus caught him. But I'd encourage you today, if your heart is starting to get anxious, looking around at all the uncertainty around you, fix your heart on Jesus. Just quiet yourself, put your focus back there. God has said that he can keep us in peace if our eyes stay focused on him. All right, let's have another interview. All right, well, our guest this morning is Gracelyn Hurdlow. And Gracelyn grew up at DCC, and now you're all grown up and you're off. God's using you in a lot of different parts of the world. Why don't you tell folks a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, as you said, I grew up in Sequim. I graduated in 2018 and didn't know what I wanted to do in life. And so I decided to ask the Lord about it. And he sent me to YWAM, which is Youth with a Mission. And I have been with them since last April. And I went to Hawaii for 3 months to do what they have is called a discipleship training school. And that's where you just kind of grow deeper in your faith, learn a little bit more about missions. And then I went to Panama for 5 months after that. And then to the Bahamas, actually, for 2 months after that to do some hurricane relief work. And now I'm home. So figuring out what's next.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to be here right now, are you?
No, we're supposed to be running a school in Hawaii right now, so it's a little different than Hawaii.
Yeah, and you were telling me that you kind of in particular got targeted to not come because you were from Washington.
Yes, in the beginning when it first broke out and everyone was freaking out about Washington, that was when I just got home and my school leader called and she was like, yeah, so we've had to turn away all of our European students, and since you're from Washington, you can't come on base either. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Are you getting any signals as to when you may be able to get back to what you're trying to do?
Yeah, so I had to take a step back because they were talking about either joining up with the July school or pushing it to next year. And so I was kind of in this not really sure when I was going to be able to go back to Hawaii anyways. So with everything being up in the air, I'm currently not planning on going back at the moment. Actually looking at going back to school for a little bit and seeing where that leads, and then potentially going back to continue with them. But at the moment, they're still not even sure when they're going to be able to run schools anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just kind of, God took another direction with me. So yeah.
The nice thing at this point is everybody gets it because
Yep.
everybody's planning looks about the same, which is
Yep.
we have no idea.
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about Panama. You were down there doing disaster relief. What was it like?
Yeah, so while we were in Panama, that was actually right before the disaster relief. We were living in the island regions. It's called the Bocas del Toro region. And so it's a cluster of 6 to 8 islands. I don't ever remember how many, but I lived on one that was called Bastimentos. And we lived basically in a tree house. It was called the House Up on a Hill. And we lived in between 2 villages. And so while I was there, we spent a lot of time doing community development projects. We did a lot of going to other villages on other islands, which meant 2.5-hour boat rides to these little villages and hanging out with everyone there and kind of showing them how to do a lot of the community development that we were being trained to do, as well as we did a VBS program once and did English classes once. So just kind of dabbled in however way we could help, just tried to really connect to the people living there. And we also did actually a lot with this organization called Coral Restoration. So we got to snorkel a lot and clean coral and just try to help grow the reef back because it's been overfished, so it's dying, unfortunately. But yeah, I was there for 5 months, and the first 2 months was my outreach. And so I spent the entire time working on the base, working with the people around the base. And then the second 3 months, I actually staffed a discipleship training school down there. Okay. So we ran a 3-month school where we had speakers coming in each week, and I was mentoring students and planning the outreach that was to the Bahamas as well. So
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, some great experience you got to have before this all set in. We will pray that the doors open, that you can get back to it in the not too distant future. Would you close our time with a word of prayer?
I would love to.
Okay.
Yeah, God, we just thank you so much for just how good you are. And even though it's a time of uncertainty and a time where we're just kind of restless or not really knowing where we're supposed to be going, God, you're always there with us through it all. And we just thank you so much for just giving us this time to be with our families and to dig into more intentional time with you. And yeah, we just lift up everyone that's watching this video. I just pray that you would bless them today and that they would think of someone to contact and just share your love in this time. We thank you and we love you, and in your name, amen.
Amen. Hey, thanks, Gracelyn.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I trust you have a blessed day, and we will see you back here again tomorrow.